All right, guys. The name of this sermon is going to be called WPDQ. WPDQ. And you're probably thinking, what in the world does WPDQ stand for? Well, I don't know myself, so I can't answer that question. I have no idea what WPDQ stands for. You'd have to ask my grandma that. But anyway, I will talk to you about that at the end of the sermon. Right now, let me just tell you what this sermon is about. This is going to be a very, very quick, simple message. And this is for somebody, I don't know who this is for, but all I'm doing in this sermon is giving you a heads up about something and giving you a simple warning about something. What I'm here to let you know is this: whoever this is for, you are about to have someone or some people come to you and talk to you about some things. And what's going to happen is they're going to reveal some things to you, some not so pleasant things to you, but the result is supposed to be pleasant. And this is what I mean. You'll have someone or some people reveal to you some things that they have done behind your back, or maybe some things that other people have done behind your back as well, to cause you a lot of downfalls, to cause you a lot of misfortunes, to cause you a lot of setbacks. And they're revealing this to you not to start stuff with you or to make you mad. They're revealing this stuff to you as a way of just coming clean, being honest, and making things right between you and them. And some of the things that you may be told are things that, even though they may kind of hurt to hear it, it's going to help you. Sometimes people will reveal what was done wrong so that you can now go in and fix it, to make a problem right, to go in and solve an issue that you've had. So it may sound hard to hear it. It may be harsh hearing it, but if you can receive it and not receive it in anger, but receive it as, okay, they're just trying to help me, they're trying to make things right, they're trying to smooth things over with me, and they're giving me information that's going to help me move forward, why be mad? You know, that's the way to look at it. Why be mad? This is a good thing that I'm learning this now. I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to hold any grudges now that I'm learning this. I need to take this information and run with it. I don't need to sit around and be mad. I don't need to go off on anybody or anything like that. I'm glad that I'm being told this. I'm glad I know where I stand with people. This is good. That's the mindset to have. And so that's the heads up. But the warning that I'm giving you, simply put, is, you know, don't go off on them when they reveal to you what they've got to say. Don't go off on them. Don't cuss them out. Don't give them a piece of your mind. You know how it is when somebody says something we don't like. Let me tell you something. Let me give you a piece of my mind. Let me tell you what I got to say about this. Let me give you my 2 cents. Don't give them a piece of your mind. Don't cuss them out. Don't tell them what you are and what you ain't going to do, and what they are and what they ain't going to do. Let me tell you what you not going to do. Let me tell you blah, blah, blah. No, no, no. Don't do any of that. Just now, for whoever this is for, this may be for more than one person. You might not even be that type of person to do that. You might not be the type of person to just go smooth off on somebody, even when all they're trying to do is just be honest with you and clear the air and try to make things right. But just in case you are that type of person, you are being given this warning. Look, chill. This ain't about going off on anybody. This isn't about finally having your moment of you know, giving somebody a piece of your mind. You know, just let it go. This is a good thing. You may hear some rough stuff, but it's a good thing you're hearing it. It's a good thing for you to know what people have done, where you stand with certain people, who really is and who isn't trying to make things right with you. And like I said, you may be given some information that's going to help you, go back and fix a problem or make something right, or, you know, whatever. So this ain't the time to go off on anybody, because how do you know whether or not that person or those people are going to go back and tell somebody else or some other person that has something to reveal to you How do you not know they're not going to tell that person, hey, you might as well not go and try to help that person. You might as well not go and apologize. You might as well not go and try to make things right with that person. Because all they're going to do is go off on you when you say what you got to say, because they went off on me. And now all of a sudden it's a ripple effect. Now no one's going to want to come and try to apologize or make things right or confess to you what they've done or give you the lowdown, the 411 on what someone else has done to ruin something, and now you're missing out on information that can help you fix problems in your life. You don't want that. You don't want that ripple effect of somebody going and letting somebody else know, hey, you might as well not even go and try to sit down and talk with them, because they're not going to hear it. They're just going to go off on you. They're just going to cuss you out. They're just going to give you a piece of their mind. They're not going to be thankful or grateful that you tried to help them. They're just fixing to, they're just fixing to try to do some yo mama jokes and battle you, and don't do it. So if you're following along in scripture, there's just two simple spots we're going to go to. One is going to be in 1 Samuel chapter 20, and the other is going to be in Luke chapter 23. So 1 Samuel chapter 20, starting at verse 30, is where we're going to be at. Now let me kind of explain what's going on here while you're turning there. So what's happening here is you have Saul, who is king, and we're going to read about his son Jonathan having a chat with him. And what's happened here is this. So there's the new moon feast that's supposed to be happening, this new moon celebration, this meal that's supposed to be prepared, and the king has a spot that he's going to sit at his table, and there are certain seats, certain spots reserved for certain other people. And so as he's going to sit down, he's expecting certain people to be there at the table to eat with him. That's just how it is. The king has certain times where certain people are supposed to sit at this certain table in certain spots and have a meal with him. It's just a traditional thing. But what's going to happen is David, who has a particular spot at the king's table, won't be showing up. And so the king is going to be trying to figure out where David is. Why is he not there? Why did he not even announce that he wasn't going to be there? And so that's what we're going to be looking at here. Jonathan is going to try to talk to Saul, going to try to reason with him and explain to him why David isn't there. And what he does is he lets Saul know. He's like, listen, David informed me that, he has decided to go with his family, go back home to his family and have a sacrifice and a festival with them. So he's not going to be showing up here to sit with you here at the table. And look at what Saul says in verse 30. It says, then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan. He's mad at Jonathan for trying to give him some information. He's mad at Jonathan, and so he's supposed to go off on him. It says this, then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan, and he said unto him, thou son of the perverse rebellious woman, do not I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion, and unto the confusion of thy mother's nakedness? For as long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established, nor thy kingdom. Wherefore now send and fetch unto him me, for he shall surely die. Now, this trips me out whenever I read it here in verse 30. What Saul says right off the top, he says to Jonathan, thou son of the perverse rebellious woman. That sounds real similar, y'all, to today how we say, you son of a beep, right? And I'm not talking about son of a biscuit eater, no. But it sounds like when we're calling somebody the son of a B word, right? It's like he's in his own way cussing him out. All he's doing is trying to answer a question, and he's mad at David, but he's going off on Jonathan for the information he's giving him. Thou son of a perverse rebellious woman, right? So he's basically cussing him out. Then he goes on to say, do not I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion and unto the confusion of thy mother's nakedness? So now he's giving Jonathan a piece of his mind. He's letting him know how he really feels about him and what he really thinks. And then in verse 31 he says, for as long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established, nor thy kingdom. Wherefore now send and fetch him unto me, for he shall surely die. So now he's doing what? He's telling Jonathan what he is and what he's not going to do. He's telling him his kingdom's not going to be established. He's not going to be established. He ain't never going to amount to nothing. I mean, he's giving him the business. And then he's trying to tell him to go and get David so that he can get killed. So now it's just like he's going off on Jonathan, but now he's letting Jonathan know what he really feels about David, saying that he wants him dead. So Jonathan was already doing this thing where he was trying to please his father and be in his father's presence and help him, but he was also going to meet up with David in his hiding spots, because really David had been spending time hiding from Saul because he knew Saul was wanting him dead. So Jonathan goes back and forth between trying to please his father and going to find David wherever David is hidden, and he's continuing to let David know ahead of time what his father's plans are when it comes to his father trying to kill him, find him and kill him, so that way David can stay on the move and stay hidden. So Jonathan was already kind of feeling sorry for David and trying to help him out a little bit here and there the best that he could. But once Saul did this right here, went off on Jonathan and flat out said, yeah, I want to kill David. Now Jonathan even more so is more resentful towards his dad and is even more so wanting to help David flee from his father. And so, you know, this really backfired on Saul. And so I'm letting you know, whoever this is for, you know, this isn't the time to do what Saul did here. This is not the time to get mad at somebody because they're trying to reveal to you something about what they've done or what somebody else has done or what someone else is doing. Don't be mad at them and go off on them. You know, this isn't time for that. But verse 32 says this, and Jonathan answered Saul his father and said unto him, wherefore shall he be slain? What hath he done? And Saul cast a javelin at him to smite him, whereby Jonathan knew that it was determined of his father to slay David. So Jonathan arose from the table in fierce anger, and did eat no meat the second day of the month, for he was grieved for David, because his father had done him shame. So we see here in verse 32, Jonathan trying to reason with his dad, questioning him, what in the world are you doing? You know, why are you angry? Why are you trying to do this? And then the next verse, Saul tries to hurt Jonathan. He throws a javelin, a spear at him. And that's the same thing he was trying to do to David in the past. So Jonathan, it says in 34, that he gets up in fierce anger. So basically what happens is you go off on somebody in anger that's trying to talk to you. They're just going to go off in an even greater anger. And it says that he didn't want to eat any meat. So now he didn't want to sit at the table with Saul. David didn't show up. Now Jonathan don't want to show up at the king's table because of Saul's anger issues. He has no anger management about himself. And so, listen, you gotta stay calm. This is not the time to let your anger, not the time to let your flesh get the best of you. This is not the time to blow your top. So now I've shown you what not to do. Now let me show you the mindset to have. Luke chapter 23, starting at verse 33. And this has to do with Jesus. Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, who died on the cross for us. Let's look at this. Look at what it says here, starting at verse 33. It says, and when they were come to the place which is called Calvary, there they crucified him, and the malefactors one on the right hand and the other on the left. Then said Jesus, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And they parted his raiment and cast lots. And the people stood beholding. And the rulers also with them derided him, saying, He saved others, let him save himself, if he be Christ, the chosen of God. And the soldiers also mocked him, coming to him and offering him vinegar, and saying, If thou be the King of the Jews, save thyself. So this is the moment where they've captured Jesus. They've already, spent time mocking him and torturing him and picking at him. They've hung him, they've nailed him on a cross, hung him on the cross, and he's up there on the cross, and they're talking trash to him, talking trash about him, taunting him. Listen, they're saying, hey, if you really are the Christ, if you really are the chosen, if you really are the Son of God, you should be able to get yourself down. We're not going to help you. We're just waiting and watching to see what you can do, what you can and can't do. And so while they're doing this and they're casting lots, basically you could say they're gambling for his clothes. They're stripping him down. They're humiliating him. They're torturing him. He's going through a lot of pain and agony, being whipped and having these nails driven through the hands and feet. And he's hanging on this cross and he's bleeding out. He's just dying a slow, gruesome death. And they're belittling him, just really talking trash. And what he says, simply put, is, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He's not showing anger. He's not going off on them. He's not cussing them out. He's not, giving them a piece of his mind. He's not doing any of that. But he could. If he wanted to, he could be going smooth off on them right now. He could be, he could be like, hey, your mama's so fat, if y'all tried to hang her up here, these nails wouldn't be supporting her. She would already fail. Ooh, right? He, he could be starting a yo mama joke battle. When they're talking trash and saying, hey, if you really are who you believe you are, if you really are who people think you are and say you are, you should be able to get down. And Jesus could be like, oh, well, your mama's a hoe. He could really be going off on him right now. And he could have gotten himself down, or he could have sent angels down to rescue him. He could have sent angels down and they could have just had a dance battle. They could have had a dance off, Jesus and the angels against everybody else. And Jesus and the angels, they could have started break dancing and moonwalking and everything else way before it was time for the world to see all that, right? Way before Michael Jackson's even on the scene to moonwalk. They could have did all that and they could have won, and the end, right? But that's not what happened. Jesus was on a mission. He knew he had to stay on that cross. He knew he had to bleed out. He knew his bloodshed was going to save us. He knew he had to die for the sins of the world. He knew he had to do what he had to do, and he had to go through what he had to go through. It just is what it is. And so he didn't go off on them. He didn't yell at them. He didn't cuss them out. He didn't let anger get the best of them. He just didn't do it. Why am I bringing this up? Well, simple. If Jesus in that moment could show forgiveness and compassion, if he could show love, if he could not let anger get the best of him in a moment where people are trying to make him mad, in a moment where people are trying to hurt him, in a moment where people are mocking him and not trying to help him, if he could be that way in this kind of a moment, surely you cannot let your anger get the best of you in a moment where someone is trying to help you, in a moment where someone is not or is no longer trying to taunt or mock you, but trying to help you, not trying to say things to make you mad, but trying to inform you of things going on and something that did go on. Maybe they're having to reveal to you that maybe they in the past, or that someone else stole something from you, and maybe they want to return it, or maybe they want to help you get it back. Maybe they're having to reveal that they or someone else purposely ruined great opportunities for you, an opportunity for a better job, or a better career, maybe an opportunity to live in a different location, a better location. Maybe they try to ruin relationships like friendships, or maybe they're having to admit that they purposely ruined your opportunity at a intimate relationship like boyfriend, girlfriend, or marriage, or whatever. Maybe they're having to come clean about that. Maybe they're having to admit that they've lied on you in the past, that they've said things and sown negative seeds about you, and they've made people hate you or dislike you or think twice about you or doubt you. Maybe they're having to admit that they've caused people to view you as someone who is a false Christian, or a false prophet, or a false teacher, or a false this or false that. Maybe they've just slandered your name. Maybe they've just ruined a lot of good things for you, opportunities, relationships. They've done different things. You never know. Maybe someone's having to come in and reveal that maybe they were like a Saul to you. Maybe they've tried to kill you. Maybe they've tried to poison you. Maybe they've tried to cause accidents, or maybe they've tried to use some manner of witchcraft against you before. I don't know. But when God begins to send people, or cause you to be at the right place at the right time, for people to approach you and talk to you and reveal some things to you, and they're trying to apologize, and they're trying to make things right, and they're trying to give you information on how to go and obtain something, or go and fix something, or go and pursue an opportunity that you didn't know about, or one that you thought was lost. When these things happen, this is not the time to go off. This ain't the time to try to give somebody a piece of your mind. Just be thankful, be grateful, just let people have that opportunity to make things right, and just, it is what it is. Just be grateful. So with that said, I've made my points. Let me just wrap this up by sharing this real quick, because you're probably still thinking, why would you name this WPDQ? What does that even mean? My grandma, I remember when I was younger, if she ever had to get on to me, or get on to my little brothers, or get on to my little cousins about something, a lot of times if she would be mad, she would edit herself. Like, like when you watch TV and somebody says a cuss word, and you may hear like a beep noise, beep, right? Or if you're listening to music on the radio, beep, or there'd be some kind of sound effect, or some right, some weird sound effect that they do to edit something out that you don't need to hear. She would edit herself sometimes when she was going off on you. So instead of saying a bad word, she would just replace it with WPDQ. And it made no sense to me at all whatsoever, but that's what she would do. So she would say something like, "Get your WPDQ in here. Get your WPDQ in this house. Sit your WPDQ down." And she'd be serious. She wasn't trying to be funny or nothing. I mean, she'd really be mad. And sometimes she'd kind of pause right before saying WPDQ. So you knew she was trying she would have to think about not saying certain other words, right? She'd have to get her mind ready. Get your WPDQ in here and sit down. Sit down somewhere. Showing out. Making all that racket. By guard. There was something else that she said that I didn't get. Some people say by God. She said by guard. By guard. And I'd just be like, what does this even mean? Like, what does WPDQ mean? First of all, it doesn't spell anything. Second of all, there are no bad words I can think of that start with the letters W, P, D, or Q. What does this mean? That's just me being analytical the way I was when I was a kid. I just questioned everything, like, what in the world does she mean? This is ridiculous. That's what I'm saying in my head. In my head, I'm really being a smart aleck, but I know not to say it out loud. But anyway, but that's what she would do. Get your WPDQ in her. So With that said, not only do you not need to go off, but even if you have to pause and just calm down and take a deep breath and you have to edit yourself, so be it. If you got to say WPDQ a few times, just say WPDQ and and just calm down and just say, okay, I'm sorry, my bad, I had a moment. Let's talk this out. So if you got to edit yourself, if you got to say WPDQ, so be it. But don't be going off on anybody. Just be thankful. This is not a time to hear things and learn of things of the past and get mad, because this is a time for you to learn some things that's going to help you get further into the future. This is a time not only of revelation but of release. Things being released unto you, not just information, but things and opportunities and finances, things being released unto you. So basically what I'm saying is, how you react in this time, how you react to the things that people say to you at this time is very crucial. Simply having a good positive reaction, that right there is going to take you a long way right now. So get the WPDQs out of your system and just do what you got to do. And I'm going to pray us out of here. Heavenly Father, I thank you for another time to minister another word. Lord, I pray that those who need this word, that they would tune in, that they would hear it. Lord, I pray that anger would not get the best of your people. I pray that people don't go by their flesh, that wrath does not consume them at this time, Lord, but that your people have joy in their hearts, that people have a peace of mind, that people have learned to be calm, and they've learned to be patient, and they've learned to be long-suffering, and they've learned to basically just have charity, to just have love in their hearts, that they can just let certain things go, that they just not get mad, but that they look at things as an opportunity to learn, to grow, to obtain things that they didn't have, to be able to go back and get things and have opportunities and have blessings. And Lord, let your people just be forgiving, that they would just have a peace of mind, that they would just have the attitude of Christ, that they would have the mindset of, Lord, forgive these people. They surely didn't know what they were doing at the time, but now that they know, Lord, I'm glad that they have come to their senses and that they want to make things right, and I'm willing to make things right with them. Lord, I thank you. I give you the praise, the glory, and the honor. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.